I just wanted to come and discuss about this topic, what it's like having your third eye on tuition activated. And so, before I start with the topic, I want to give a little introduction about myself. Who am I, and why am I doing what I'm doing? So, I am still a learner. I'm still on my spiritual journey. I'm still treading the path. I am also at a level of consciousness. हम सब एक चेतना के स्तर पर हैं. I am also at some level of consciousness. And why am I doing what I'm doing is because I always give an example. If somebody in your group is, somebody in your group is into alcohol or drugs or, all this stuff, you know, they inspire people around, or, they motivate people around them, to have those experiences of drugs, and they would say it's a pleasurable experience, or what they have done all their life, or what they have experienced, they try to share it with people around them. It's their prakriti, it's their nature, so they do it. Likewise, it's also in my nature. It has, because I have done spirituality all my life, it's in my prakriti. And so I just want to come and share it with you all, because I have lived my life and I've made major decisions with intuition, right? So I know what it's like to live with, you know, intuition guided life. I know. So, and yeah, I mean, at first, when I was taking decisions from my intuition, I didn't know it was really like I was very subconsciously doing it. I was not fully conscious of what am I doing, but somewhere inside of me, yes, I decided to like take a risk. Like let me just do it. If it turns out to be good enough, we'll see, and if something goes wrong, we'll see that as well. So I have taken some decisions on the basis of intuition, and it didn't it didn't always turn out to be good, but overall, if I look back, I know like why things happen the way they happen. It's not like intuition is always not about, um, it will always lead you to good situations, or into good circumstances. Sometimes you are having an intuition like going down a gutter or going down a drain, and it's going to be a drain, and it's going to be dark, and still you make a decision like that because it was your intuition. And so I was just taking quite a risk, you know in the starting, because I thought I was, either I'll prove to be a crazy person, or either this is going to work. So yeah. So yeah, we can. I am 27-year-old and I have lived my life with intuition, and it is possible for all of us, to live a life of intuition, of zero ego state. You know, it's sad that in school they never taught us this. They always taught us five senses. The sixth sense was always missing. So it's possible, but we can live a life like that. We are so used to making decisions from our brain, from our logic. Like we see what is profit, what is loss, and that's how we take decisions. That's how we are conditioned to take our decisions. But we can live, if we come into a zero ego state, and we can connect to our higher self, or we can connect to God, intuition or third eye gets activated, and then we can make our decisions. And it's not like it's always going to be a very good, you know very good thing. But ultimately, if your really your third eye is active, and you will see like how does it make sense. Because at times my own karma has appeared in front of me, and my intuition was to go ahead and take that opportunity, go ahead with it. So karma lessons are not always good. They are like very draining. And but I went ahead with it. and it was important, you know. We usually get very fearful when, a karma comes in front of us. First of all, we don't even know, like, what is, if it's a karma or not. If you're not in your third eye, if you're not in your intuition, you might not know it. But so easiest thing for this is like, let life flow through you. Okay, even if bad circumstances come into your life, they have a meaning. Okay. They have a meaning to it all. And it's not like my intuition was activated like since starting. It's gradually only I learned the art of it, and the wisdom that comes with it. So yeah, I have a few points to share with you. So, though some of them I've already discussed, but we're so you. First point is, we're so used to taking decisions from our brain, profit loss, or making emotional decisions. Either we take decisions from our logic, either we take decisions from by being very emotional, and mm, and a soul center decisions that come from a soul center are the one with that are beyond logic, that are beyond emotion. Like, I know that I've been many times I would be emotional. I am an emotional person. So I have been an emotional person. I have not been very much in my logic or something. I won't I'm not very much in my mind. I have always been a little emotional person, so I am more bound to take emotional decisions. But there have been times when I have taken decisions where they were beyond emotion. It was just so crazy to see that what I'm doing. Um, yeah, so somewhere intuition comes from your soul center. Okay, it's beyond your emotions. It's beyond your logic. And the second point itself, it comes from a soul center. It betrays the ego polarities or extremes. So we usually think that ego is superiority complex, or ego is when somebody is very proud, that is ego. No, there are actually ego has dualities. Ego has two extremes. Your soul is in the center, so imagine that soul is in the center, and you have two extremes. Like, there's a number line, there's zero in between, and then there are positive numbers on the right, and then there are negative numbers on the left. So so positive numbers depict one kind of an ego, and the negative numbers are going to depict other kind of an ego, other extreme of an ego, and your soul is in the center at zero ego state. So example of ego extremes will be superiority complex and even inferiority complex. Okay, if you have an inferiority complex, or if you have a superiority complex, they both are your ego polarities. That means you have not loved yourself enough ever. Okay, that is why both of these extremes come. Okay, in your soul center, you will always feel so secure and loved by your own self. Okay, and society will make you either fall into one category of superiority complex or inferiority complex. But in your soul center, you are loved, you're secure, you are a child of the universe, and that's how you will always feel it. So the intuition comes from a space of silence, from zero ego. And definitely it's one of the craziest thing. Like, if I tell people like what decisions I've made staying in my tuition, it's just so crazy. I don't think so I can speak because it's little personal. But yeah, like, half of you would be like, I think all of you would be laughing. How can you have this kind of an intuition? And I can't help it. But yeah, so I have made some really crazy decisions. And but yeah, it was my zero ego state, and I made sure, if it's going to hurt somebody, or it's just I don't think so I can go into my personal life a little. Okay, let's just leave that. The third point, intuition is no joke. Sometimes it's make you do uncomfortable all the time. It makes you do uncomfortable all the damn time. And they're usually very crazy. Okay, so yeah, layman intuition and spiritual intuition. So I want to make a little, sometimes let me make a little um, the difference clear here. So, sometimes, people around me would say that, yeah, we also feel intuitive, like, sometimes some person is not correct, or, it's not good for us. And, we don't, they say that vibe nahi aayi, we don't feel the vibe or something like this. So, you know, that is a little, yes, it is also an intuition, layman intuition. But most of the time that is, you know, um, to some extent, we all are intuitive, okay? But what kind of intuition I'm talking about here is spiritual intuition, and it's very different, okay? Like when spiritual intuition comes, you have a lot of wisdom with it, that's coming with it. It's not like you you know you don't spiritual intuition is something like you don't let your you know brain get in the way, okay? For example, somebody said that we didn't get the good vibes from somebody, so we stayed away. But my way of doing things, my when really that spiritual intuition happened, the wisdom also came with it. I won't say the my way of doing it, but I think this is how it happens. When you're spiritually become very intuitive, the wisdom also comes with it, the wisdom of non-interference. So, a layman would might uh, you know um, stay away from the person we didn't get the good vibes, but it is not always the case with the spiritual intuition. You don't know, like, what your intuition asks you to do. So it's just so different. um, with this point only, it's just so easy to come to the fourth point. With intuitive powers, one should have the wisdom of being non-interfering. So I'll tell you a very beautiful story. So there is this Hindu lore of Mahadev and Bhasmasur. So Mahadev is at a higher level of consciousness. He is the god, okay? And he's sitting in Himalayas, he's meditating, his third eye is active, he's a yogi. And then there is this demon called Mahishasura, okay? And now Mahishasura wants to have a boon, okay, from Mahadev. What boon he wants to have? He wants to be victorious among all his enemies, okay? And for that, he goes to Mahadev and he asks for a boon that whoever head I touch with my hand, that burn down to ashes, that enemy just burn down to ashes. So, Mahadev's third eye is active. Okay, he knows what is, and he knows like he's not with good intentions, and he's gonna misuse his power. He knows it. It's not like he doesn't know it. He knows it, and still he gives. He's at higher level of consciousness. He still gives his give him the boon, like, okay, you take it, like whoever's head you touch with your hand, he's going to burn down to ashes. And now with this, there's also one point that is highlighted, that some Mahadev is in his own prakriti, okay? He's god. So is you know he is following his own prakriti, he's following his own nature of being a god. Mm, the prakriti of a demon, the nature of a demon is to bite, okay? And he's thinking from the brain, the demon is thinking from the brain, the demon is thinking from, profit and loss. Like, he's thinking like, I'll kill my enemies or something like that. Whereas Mahadev is his own prakriti, is a known higher level of consciousness. He knows that it is, not a he knows if he's capable of giving a boon, he should give it, and he has love for all, okay? Now, what is the role of his third eye? Now he knows what is he going to do. Still, he doesn't interfere with it. Why? Because he just lets it happen. Because he knows the rule of the universe. He knows the laws of creation. Anyone with good intention is going to get it back. Anyone with bad intention is going to get it back. Everybody is going to be rewarded with his own prakriti. So he let it happen. Okay. So after this, as usual, the Bhasmasura with his own prakriti, he tries to touch Mahadev himself. He tries to bring him down to ashes. So Mahadev just runs and goes to Vishnuji. So now Vishnuji is another god, and he shapeshifts. He takes the form of Mohini. Okay, a very beautiful lady. So this Mohini now goes to Bhasmasur, and she starts dancing for Bhasmasur. Now Bhasmasur is very, very, in his ego mode. He's so boastful that a beautiful lady has come to dance with him. So she's dancing, he's also dancing. She's doing certain steps, he's also copying the certain steps. Now Mohini put her hand on her own head, and Bhasmasur was copying it, so he also kept his own hand on his own head, and he got burned down to ashes. Okay, so most of the time when intuition comes, it comes with the wisdom of non-interference. The wisdom with it also comes that most of the times you don't have to interfere with it, and it's true. For example, many times when your third eye is active or when you're in intuition, you know what your future is going to be. Okay, but what do you do about it? Let's say there's something bad is going to happen in the future, you know so imagine the amount of groundedness you would be needing. you know you have to ground yourself in the present moment so much, knowing what is going to happen in the future. Okay, so that kind of groundedness, that kind of spiritual strength, that comes staying in the present moment, is a next level thing. Okay, so all these powers and all these spiritual um, gifts that open up, right, while walking a spiritual path, they also come with the strength, they also come with the wisdom, and without them it's more likely that we are not very, and it's the law of nature. They will come with the wisdom, they will come with the strength. Okay, they will come with the wisdom, they will come with the strength. If you're doubting it, that if it's your intuition or not, that means it's not. Because when it's intuition, you are like very sure. Okay, um at first I still kept, when I was tuning into my intuition and making decisions, at first I was not, I was subconsciously making decisions. I was like, let's see if if this thing's going to work or not. That's how I was making decision. But over the years, like, so much patience I have to keep, undoubtedly. Over the years, when I look back and when I see, then yes, it was my intuition and it just worked very well. It just made sense. Like, most of the things went wrong, but in I mean, they were not very good experiences. What my intuition asked me to do, but it still makes sense to me. I know like why things happen the way they happen. Most of the time they are my karmas. Um, Most of the time, the things have to happen that way, and so when I look back, I can see it. Okay. So I just wanted to put it out there. Do let me know in the comment section if you have ever felt a very strong intuition about something, and especially for a very big decisions of your life. And you can also follow me on Instagram with the same name, the same cracket. Thank you so much.